The experts say that November's over, but why should I believe them? I demand proof. While I sit smugly in my righteousness, let's look over the Star Wars gaming news that happened in November. Even though it's not over yet, and I refuse to believe the experts because I'm an American. Normally we do video game news first, but the biggest news we gotten in a long time is in the tabletop world. So, the Star Wars miniatures games of Legion, Armada, and X-Wing are all moving production from Fantasy Flight Games to Atomic Mass Games. Atomic Mass Games is a newer studio. They've been around for about a year now. Their only project has been Marvel Crisis Protocol, which is a cool game. They're also owned by Asmodee, the same parent company that owns Fantasy Flight. So this seems to be some more corporate shuffling from Asmodee, trying to put all the miniatures game production in one basket. The basket being Atomic Mass Games. So this sent huge waves through the tabletop community, and rightfully so. It seems as though a number of people working on the games at Fantasy Flight have been terminated from their work. One confirmed termination is that of Alex Davey. He posted on Facebook on Monday, being November 16th, "I was abruptly and unceremoniously terminated by Asmodee North America. Whatever happens next, the past 8 years have been an incredible trip to my friends, fans, and especially my coworkers who poured their blood, sweat, and tears into making the best damn games we ever could. Thank you for everything. To Atomic Mass Games, who have been handed the fruits of that labor, good luck and don't fuck it up." Alex, he worked extensively on Armada and X-Wing, and he was the lead designer of Legion. His name's on the box if you buy a core set of Legion. So there's a lot to unpack here. We have a whole video discussion with Evan and Leo and I breaking down what this means for gamers, the hobby, for the people who work on these games, for the games themselves on YouTube. You can find that video in the cards here. I've reached out to Atomic Mass Games for comment, and I've not yet received a response. It's been a few weeks, so at this point I'm not expecting one. The only official communication they put out is their press release saying that it's, this is happening. They put out a quick Q&A, and they put out a message about the future of organized play for Star Wars games in 2021. A quote from the initial press release is, "Simone Elliott, who has shepherded Fantasy Flight's relationship with Lucasfilm Licensing since 2015, will lead Atomic Mass Games during this time of expansion as head of studio. Will Schick assumes primary creative oversight as head of product development. Joining them will be key members of the teams involved with the creation and evolution of Fantasy Flight's current Star Wars miniatures games, Star Wars X-Wing, Star Wars Legion, and Star Wars Armada." So there are people moving from Fantasy Flight to Atomic Mass. Obviously not everybody, because we know that people like Alex Davey, the top of the food chain, so to speak, for these games is gone. So it remains to be seen who's making the jump and who's not. Obviously the lead designers are the ones we're most interested in. One of the two lead designers from Legion already confirmed to be out. We're waiting to see what Luke Eddy's status is, the other lead designer. On the Q&A, they didn't expand on too much, except for that we can expect to see some changes to the current games. And while they're hyper-focused on the current games, we can probably expect some new games from them in the future. This doesn't mean necessarily Star Wars games, because I think all of Asmodee's miniatures games are going to be coming out of Atomic Mass now, but there's good potential for new Star Wars miniatures games in the future. Maybe one that finally lets you play with AT-ATs at a decent scale. And lastly, they posted about organized play for Star Wars games in 21 in a very small release. This quote stood out to me. "One of our focuses is using organized play as a vehicle to expand upon the core game experience through use of events that feature alternate game modes, highly focused narrative events, and an emphasis on equally rewarding everyone who plays, especially at the in-store level where communities for these great games thrive." That's really exciting to me. If I ever get to play Legion in a game store again. But I imagine this news might not be taken as well by the hyper-competitive crowd who just want to play the game, be as good as they can, and reap all the rewards at the top of the pack rather than it. We'll see. I think it sounds nice, but so stay tuned to the JodoCast on Twitter and our Discord if you need up-to-the-moment updates about this story, because we're going to be on top of this, because this is a big deal for us, and we care about how this shakes out. In the rest of tabletop news, Legion got a big rules reference update adjusted the points of a lot of units and reworked some keywords. Like now you can, if you're riding in a transport, you can actually shoot at people from the back of the transport, and change some turn 0 stuff with, like Tauntauns can't get dodge tokens for using scout or whatever. A lot of stuff. We might break that down in another video, but if you're in a Legion, check that out because it's a lot of updates. X-Wing also got some points updates and an update to the hyperspace rotation. X-Wing also got a brand new app for squad building and stuff, which is cool. I haven't tried it because I haven't played X-Wing in a little bit, but according to Leo, the app still sucks, but at least it's a new app that maybe sucks differently. Or maybe it's fine because Leo hates everything. New ships came out for X-Wing. The Ada 2 Actus, the V-Wing, the Droid Tri-Fighter, and Jango Fett Slave 1 are all available to buy. And the new Clone Wars stuff coming for Armada got some preview articles. So if you're excited about those, check out those preview articles. A lot of good stuff. One of our most recent podcast episodes is also all about Clone Wars, Armada, and basically about if you were to jump into Armada today, what would you need to do? That sort of thing. So check out that podcast episode if you're interested in Armada. Okay, video game news. Minecraft got some Star Wars DLC that actually looks pretty neat if you play Minecraft. I haven't played Minecraft in probably 9 years or something. But this actually made me think about picking it back up. I haven't, but I thought about it. There's obviously a lot of incredible fan-made Star Wars worlds out there. But this DLC includes kind of a whole new kind of thing. It's got a whole new world full of different Star Wars themed environments, and it includes like special blocks that you can't get in default Minecraft. It has Imperial themed mobs that will attack you at night, so at night you might need to defend your base from stormtroopers instead of creepers and spiders or whatever, which I think is kind of cool. There's a full interview with Ryan Kellogg, the senior producer at Lucasfilm Games, where they really dive into all the things that make this DLC stand out, but there's vehicles, creatures, Star Wars stuff. It's all the original trilogy plus Mandalorian. Speaking of Lucasfilm Games, this Twitter account by that name, that's actually not the official Lucasfilm Games account at all and not associated with them officially, tweeted about a new iOS game called Starfighter Missions. You shouldn't care, probably, because it's a mobile game that's only available in Korea, Japan, and other countries in Southeast Asia. I'm assuming you don't live in those countries if you're watching this channel. If you are, that's amazing. Welcome. I love you. But you and I probably will never be able to play this game. And now I'm picturing the one person watching this in Southeast Asia doesn't have an Apple phone. They have an Android phone and they still can't play it. In any case, let's move on. Jordan Mason snagged a tiny tidbit that flew under everyone's radar from a few months ago. Jesse Harlan, composer for loads of Star Wars video games, tweeted that he got to revisit Vodeon, the legendary track from Republic Commando, for a new project. If you're unfamiliar with Vodeon, it's super cool. It's very different from other Star Wars music. The soundtrack for Republic Commando is one of the best soundtracks there is in video games. Vodeon is like the main track. It's cool. Does this mean a Republic Commando sequel? Maybe this song's going to appear in the Mandalorian show. The song Vodeon, it's in like the Mandalorian language. It's very Mandalorian focused. I don't know. So it's cool. He working on Vodayon again, which is exciting. And I can't wait to find out where that's coming into play. Hopefully it's not some weird VR game. A story trailer for the next big thing in Star Wars The Old Republic dropped. Echoes of Oblivion story trailer. So if you're still sticking with that game, cool, there's more stuff happening for you to do. If you still haven't played Jedi Fallen Order, it's now available if you have Xbox Game Pass Ultimate, since EA Play is included with that. So, more ways to play it if you haven't already. Go play it. Also, in other new ways to play Fallen Order, it's now available on Google Stadia. If you're the one person out there who gives a shit about Google Stadia. Tales from the Galaxy's Edge for Oculus came out this month. They released a number of articles breaking down the characters, exploring the music of the game, and more, so check those articles out if you're interested in the lore or the composing for the game. The Star Wars show also did a fun interview with cast members Deborah Wilson and Bobby Moynihan. It's hard for me to be excited about this game. I watched Star Wars Explain's review of the game, which he thought was kind of and it sounds about right. It's a very good review. Check it out if you want to know why. Also, it's hard to be excited for a game that I'll likely never get to play, and neither will you or most any other Star Wars fans probably, because it's exclusive to one system, and that one system is on an already minuscule market that is VR gaming. So it's hard to get excited about the game, especially now that I know that it's not as good as Vader Immortal. Speaking of VR games, Star Wars Squadrons was nominated for Best VR/AR Game in the Game Awards, so I think those come out next month, so maybe Squadrons will win an award. Cool. Speaking of Squadrons got one big update this month that introduced a new map and some new cosmetics. The new map is very cool, very pretty, and the matchmaking is getting better. Now that they've got their rank 0 bug fixed, the matchmaking is starting to smooth out. All the games I've played recently have been very fun. Next month, they announced there's another huge update, probably the last big update the game is going to get. But it's going to get the option for private matches, which means esports, anybody? JodoCast esports? Or, at the very least, we're going to have some sort of JodoCast thing where we try and get 10 people to play. That sounds really fun. But private matches is a big deal, especially for the future health of the game, because as long as you have friends, you can keep playing and you don't have to worry about the game's matchmaking. And the biggest news about next month's update is that the B-Wing and the TIE Defender are coming to the game. So you'll finally be able to play a whole squad of Alphabet Squadron. And besides that, there'll be a number of balance updates, and there's new ship components that came out this month. So yeah, it's fun. And that's all the news for November. December, we look forward to the B-Wing and TIE Defender and whatever else may come. There will probably be new news about Atomic Mass Games taking over the miniatures games periodically over the next month. We'll be keeping up to date on that. Like I said, if you need news immediately and not in like a condensed end of the month format, just be sure to hit up our Twitter or our Discord, where we notify everybody of all this stuff as it happens. Thanks for watching. Next month is December, I think, according to the experts, who I still don't believe because I'm an American, damn it, and I don't have to believe what experts say. I believe in... What do you want for Christmas?